Hi Libra, I'm going to be doing a self-love tarot spread. These are general messages. If it doesn't resonate with you this week, come back and maybe I can help you next week. These are self-love messages designed for whoever's watching, so Spirit can showcase areas where we might be consciously or subconsciously letting ourselves down, or areas where Spirit says we can be more authentic with ourselves. So Libra, I do a 6-card spread, and then the 7th card is usually what I do for Spirit message. So I shuffled a little bit before. We're gonna go ahead and get started, or try it. That wasn't a very good shuffle. I didn't want to get them all mixed up. I try not to read reversals, so I want everything to be upright when it comes out. Let's get started. I'll do my spread and then I will clarify with the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. I'll show you everything as we go. So this first card, Libra, is going to be how you feel right now, how you're feeling. And the second card is going to be something that Spirit wants you to focus on more. Make a priority. This could be something that just needs your attention. In the third position, it's going to be something that we might not be acknowledging, something we might have put on the back burner, something we might not be focusing on, and Spirit says, okay, now it's time to really pay attention to that. In this fourth position, we have an area where Spirit wants you to showcase more of who you are, to be authentic. Self-love is all about self-acceptance, and it's hard to accept parts of ourselves that we won't acknowledge. In this fifth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to let go of. In the sixth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to know about. It could be something you already know about, but Spirit really wants to draw your attention to it. And like I said, the seventh card will be Spirit message. I'm always totally fine, and then I go to start these, and I start talking like this. That's so weird. Okay, so in this first position, Libra, we have the 10 Pentacles. That's really nice. It says wealth. And you see them. They've planted this tree, and they're here together, and they're supporting the tree, and they're supporting each other, and they're supporting the tree's growth. Libra, you could be in this place right now where you're feeling very wealthy. It could be in Pentacles, like honestly, like this, the 10 of Pentacles is like the ultimate stability, right? Like you have built your home, your family, your foundation, and like this, like you've already done all of that, and now you're grown, and now you're a grandparent, and now you get to watch like your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren run around in the stability that you built. This card doesn't look like the traditional tarot. Sorry, those are the cats. Guys! This isn't the traditional tarot. So this could be like material wealth, because it does say wealth, and it is the card of Pentacles. But what it seems like to me, Libra, is that you're very wealthy right now in support. I mean, we all got stimulus checks. Probably we're all just a little bit extra wealthy, but so it could be Pentacles. It really could be, but I don't really get that. This deck, this Sun of the Moon Tarot deck by what's her name, Vanessa Decort, it doesn't really showcase Pentacles as like physical Pentacles, material success. So with this, you could be materially successful, Libra, and I'd be really happy for you. But you're also successful in support, and I'm even more happy for you, because money can run out. But support can run out too. I just think support's more valuable. That's my point. In the second position, Libra, this is something that Spirit wants you to acknowledge or prioritize. It did come out in the reverse, and so did the other one. And I just tried to make them all flat, so I'm going to read it as a reversal, even though I don't really want to. And if it doesn't fit later, I'll change it. It's my prerogative, right? Okay, so something that Spirit wants you to prioritize. Okay, all right. So, the Aeon. In this deck, the Aeon is Judgment. Now, traditionally, Judgment sits on high, And she screams down through her little trumpet to the automatons underneath. They're humans. They call them zombies, but they're not actually zombies. These are just people who are not living to their purpose. And so you had the Aeon, but you had the Aeon in reverse. I would think, Libra, that this would be a sign to you that if you were feeling any kind of judgment, if traditionally she's calling down, like I said, right, to the zombies, calling them to their higher purpose. But I don't really feel like that's from this, or that is reminiscent for this particular situation. I think this is very not listening to the judgments of other people. It could be, Libra, right now that you're in this position where you feel supported and you feel wealthy, but there are people behind you. You can hear them talking, you know? People have this funny way of believing they have the right to have input into our lives. They do. They think that all the time. I think that. I'm telling you how to live right now. But universe wants you to know, Libra, that no one else has a say over your life. If there are decisions you need to make, if there are choices, which is a decision, there's no one that can tell you what's right for you. When we listen to other people about our own lives, we end up living the lives other people want us to live instead of the life we want to live. And usually the life that we really want to live is that higher calling. It is those little seeds, those kernels, you know, they've planted along the way, and then as they grow, as we grow, they grow. And they really do direct us in the direction we're supposed to go. But if we're too busy following the signs that everyone else has posted on our path, we're gonna get lost. So Libra, I'm just saying right now, the universe is in this position of something it wants you to prioritize. Judgment came in the reverse. So the universe does not want you to prioritize judgment. Don't be judging on other people. If you have all this wealth right now, Libra, don't be looking at other people being like, you have less than me. That's not really a Libra vibe. I'm just saying, like, don't you judge other people, and don't judge. Judge not lest ye be judged, Libra. There you go, right? I don't think it's you, though, doing the judgment. I feel like this is judgment from, you know, outside sources coming to you. Guys, go make out in the other room. Sorry, they get very loud. In this third position, Libra, this is something that universe wants you to focus more heavily on. This could be an area where we're just, you know, we could subconsciously or consciously be aware of the fact that we are letting ourselves down in this area. We have the 8 pentacles. See, and again, they don't use like actual pentacles. It's just like the fruit, right, on the vine. And the 8 of pentacles, it says Prudence here. I always think of the 8 of pentacles traditionally as that guy who's sitting at his bench, right? And he's working on becoming a master crafter. And it's putting the time and the effort into things that you want to grow so that they will. But in this deck, it's more indicative of being careful with what you're doing. Prudence. If you're in this position right now where you do have a lot of wealth, material, or support, it would be well to be prudent with that, right? If you get a lot of money, me especially, this isn't true. I love to save. I'm actually like, I'm not a hoarder because then I would have to have stuff to hoard. But I like to have more money in my savings account than in my checking account. And every once in a while, if I need something, if I know that I really want something, if I've told myself in the past, hey, I really want this thing, I know I'm gonna get it, then I will take money from my savings account and pay for the thing. If it's just regular daily day living, I live in my savings account or my checking account. But if you have a lot of money right now, Libra, the universe is telling you to be prudent with it. Hold on to it. Maybe if you want to spend it, the universe is telling you there's something better coming along. If you're wealthy in support, be prudent in how you handle that support. If somebody is there to help you, you know, don't take advantage of that, which again is not really a Libra trait. I'm just, you know, going with the cards. Like, if you're wealthy in support, if people around you love you, then you shouldn't have to worry, you know, that if you need something, that you're going to be a burden on these people. You're not going to be a burden. But you also don't want to overextend. If somebody's there to support you all the time, you don't want to take advantage. You don't want to, you know, we have to talk to people about the emotional space, the emotional capacity that they have, right? Libra, this to me would be like something that someone would do to you. They would call you and say, oh, I had such a terrible day. Do you have the emotional capacity to handle me venting to you right now? And Libra would go, girl, let me get some chips. Of course. Let's sit down and we will talk about this. So maybe you should also be prudent then, Libra. If somebody is using you for support, be careful with the amount of support that you're giving away. Here we go. This is my spiel. Self-love, the reason that you are probably here, and the reason that most of us look for self-love as we age, is because when we grow up, we learn these patterns that teach us that it's better, or we learn that we adopt these patterns because our environment is unsupportive or unsafe. And whatever the reason, we learn these patterns, and as we learn to give away. But we don't learn to get back. And that's what self-love is. It's about redirecting those habits so that we're also getting back. Libra, if you're being supported to somebody else because there is this supportive environment, don't let other people overuse your support. Don't be afraid of other people's judgment. Don't be afraid of, giving your all. But be careful, be prudent, be discerning, right? In this fourth position, something that the universe wants you to acknowledge is this newfound sense of stability, Libra. You're feeling very stable right now. That's the 10 of Pentacles. That's like the highest pentacle that you can get. That's the most stable. And the universe is saying that there was an opportunity here for that stability, and they want you to showcase that stability to other people. I think it was you, Libra, the other day we had this whole conversation about how, or maybe not, and we can have that conversation again, but when the universe brings something new into your life, it's because you've completed something. A stage, maybe. You've completed like a stage, or you completed one of the lessons or whatever. And so the universe will give you a reward. It's your responsibility as an agent of the universe to be a good example for other people or a role model for what rewards of the universe look like. It's also your responsibility to be a role model of what lessons the universe looks like, or what tests look like, okay? And you don't have to put it all over Instagram or Facebook and be like, the universe tested me today, this is how I responded. No. The people who are in your life, the people who see you doing these things, they're the ones who need to know. I do this because I grew up in a not supportive, not healthy environment, and I didn't have anybody to give me that advice. And so I try to do these spreads to help you. That's my way of showing what I've learned. That's kind of like my test. I'm showing you all my tests, how much I've learned and how much I'm willing to help other people. And I like helping other people. And I like doing this too. So I'm showing that off. Libra, it's your turn to show off this support that you have. Be discerning and prudent about who you're choosing to give support to, though, Libra. While everyone in the world is entitled to love, we're all human beings, we are also, not necessarily entitled to every single thing that you have to offer, Libra. We're not. Not even me, and I don't even know you. But I bet if I showed up to your house, Libra, and I was like, I'm so cold, I need a blanket and some tea, you'd be like, come on in, and then I'd stab your whole family. I would never do that. But what I'm saying, Libra, is that you have to be discerning, okay? Showcase this newfound stability to the world, but watch out, because you have those judgers, okay? Don't listen to the haters. They're just jealous because no one can be on Libra's level, okay? Probably jealous too because they can't feel so much love and they're not as romantic. It must be a hard life to not be a Libra. I wouldn't know. It's my moon sign. Anyway, okay. So you have this sense of stability. Showcase that. Be prudent about that, right? Not everyone is entitled to your energy, your space, but showcase that. What the universe is saying they want you to let go of is this hermit energy, Libra, okay? The hermit is someone who is alone a lot of the time. Probably by preference, yeah. I would think that the hermit would prefer to be alone. But I think the hermit prefers to be alone because there's a lot of things that they're dealing with. The hermit is the sign for Virgo. Virgo happens to be the sister sign of Pisces. And we tend to be very intuitive and very empathic. And so a lot of the time we have a lot of these emotions. Pisces is designed, my body is designed to hold in all these emotions and to transmute them, to deal with them. Virgo is the sign that's more logic-based, and so they have a hard time dealing with their emotions, which is why they have to hide. They have to go inside, be alone, because heaven forbid someone sees them emotioning, and then they try to figure out what's going on, but like from a logical base, so it kind of takes longer. They get there, don't worry, Libra, they get there. But what I am seeing with this is that it's time for you to release that alone energy, or that overthinking energy, or, more logical energy. I think that's because you're in this place where you do have this support, your 10 of Pentacles. In this picture, you're not alone. You have all the support you need. And so the universe is saying that you're in this place where you do have support. So practice prudence with your support. Be careful in what you're giving away, because a lot of the time, while we think it's just a blanket and a cup of tea, it's a lot of emotional support too, Libra. You, me, and Cancer, we have to be careful because we tend to be giving. Give, 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 love, love, love. And then we don't tend to get anything back. We tend to be givers and not receivers. Anyway, so we have to be careful. We have to be prudent with what we give away. And try not to guard yourself or block yourself off from other people. Kind of the spread that I'm getting here is that, like, maybe you have this sense of wealth, this sense of support, and there's people around you who are not supportive. You should not listen to those people. If you have something in your life that's good and positive and makes you feel good, Libra, then no one else's opinion on that ought to matter. I used the word ought, so fancy. So you have to be careful with the judgment that you're taking in from other people. And you have to be prudent with the support that you give out. If you have an abundance, I don't know if Jesus actually said it, but I know that I heard it in church, so I'm not quoting the Bible. But what I always heard was, if you have a lot, you build a longer table, not a higher fence. When your table is long, you still get to choose who eats at the table. So just be careful about who you give your emotional support to, or who you give this support to. Material, physical, emotional, whatever it is, just be careful, okay? Practice discernment. It's a big deal, discernment. And what the universe wants you to acknowledge. Yeah, so this came out in the reverse, but I feel like the Aeon was good, but I don't know if this one was, because what the universe wants you to acknowledge is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is that fiery, passionate, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy, okay? But she a baddie, look at her. She's just like, oof, she's ruthless. She's ruthless. But she's super in touch with her intuition and her passion. And this came out in the reverse in the what Spirit wants you to acknowledge section. And so I don't necessarily think that it's that Spirit doesn't want you to acknowledge this passion. In the reverse, the Queen of Wands, she's not a baddie. She's just bad. She's not supportive. She's kind of bitchy. She's somebody who's going to cut you off. She's nothing, like no cap. If there's part of you, Libra, that is trying to balance all this out, the haters and, being careful about who you're giving your support to, then I think that the universe would want you to acknowledge that you can't be bitchy. That's kind of what I'm getting. I'm sorry. The Queen of Wands is someone who would protect herself and the people around her. I think that's really good. I would feel more like if the universe wanted you to acknowledge anything, it would be that you have this baddie inside of you, that you can be the Queen of Wands, even as an air sign. If there's wealth in your life, and if there's people who are judging, and the universe is telling you, hey, be cautious about who you're giving this support to, acknowledge the support, don't hide away, but also, it shouldn't be a fight. This isn't something you should have to fight over. Maybe the universe, no. In the reverse, right? We're gonna leave her right here, and then we'll come back to her because I just want to make sure she fits into the story. I don't want to make it wrong. So the message from universe came up in the reverse as well, and I don't understand how these are happening, and I'm gonna fix them for my next reading because this shouldn't happen. But the universe wants you to know, Libra, you have the Three of Swords in reverse, which means an end to sorrow, an end to unhappiness. You don't have to worry anymore. Okay? Like I said, I use the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. We're going to go ahead and clarify, though. So right now it says, the universe is telling me that you have, this real big sense of wealth. Something is here for you, the Ten of Pentacles, major stability. Wow. Death. This means to me, this is a transformation. Maybe this is the point where you didn't have wealth before. Maybe you didn't have support, and now you've come into this period where you do have support, and that's wonderful. I think one of the hardest things for people, Libra, is to ask for help. And when you're in a position where you have the support of people around you that you know and they love you and that you're not worried about asking them for things, I think that's a really big deal. I think that's hard for a lot of people. And if you've come into this position where like that's something that you can manage now, that's huge. The truth. This truth, or this support is your truth, Libra. You deserve to have that support. You deserve to have a system of support. I know that we talk about self-love, and you will see a lot of things out there, Libra, that says like self-love is selfishness, or that like self-love is about cutting other people off. And in cases that's really true, it is. We have to learn what's toxic for us. We have to learn what's healthy for us. We have to be discerning about what we do with our energy. But self-love is not about being selfish. It's not. The best thing that Source, Universe, God, Gaia, whatever you want to call it, the best thing they ever did was to make us separate. We have 2 ears, I do this, 2 ears and 2 eyes, and our own mouth and our own brain to think on our own. Because what's good for you might not be good for other people. What you like, other people might not like. And so we get to think about it for ourselves. However, if you notice, Libra, we are not alone on the planet. And so while Source made us individuals, they did not make us individual. We are not here alone. That makes me think that every problem that we have in our lives can be solved by what we have now. And this is why it's such a big deal to be a role model of the universe. Even if you don't know it, Libra, even if you don't pay attention to it, Libra, people in your life, they see you. They do. Unless you're like me and you just never ever leave the house. But then now you guys see me like this. So people see you. And your actions tell them everything about you. But it also tells them things about them. Have you ever seen somebody just wilding in the store? Like a Karen or, like a fully grown man, and they're just freaking out about something? And you look at that person and you're like, ooh, I don't want to be like that. Hope I don't look like that to people. That's what I'm talking about. We see people all the time, and your behavior is expressive of who you are, but it's also defining into who I want to be. I had this friend a long time ago, and he was really nice. He really was. He was a tutor, and he helped people. Super smart and really funny. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, I want to be like that. I want to be like that when I grow up. I want to be funny and smart. I want to make people feel comfortable. So when we put out this energy, Libra, it is for us, but it's also for everyone else around us. If you're in this ability, if you're in this position where you have the ability to be supportive, Libra, I'm not telling you to go out and support every single person, because that will take a toll on your mental or on your emotional capacity, right? I'm saying that if you have this space or have this ability right now helping the people in your life, or just acknowledging how your life has changed, people will see that on their own. They'll say, hey, you know, Libra's really doing really well right now. And I remember last week when she was having a lot of problems. He was having a lot of problems. And I see how, you know, they took those problems, they sat with their emotions, they figured out how they felt about the situation. I know it was really hard for them. And then they made a decision and then they moved on. And this week they're doing much better. Somebody's going to see that, Libra, from you and think, wow, I can do it too. I think this is part of the truth about who you are, Libra, this supportive energy. And I think because of that, there's going to be this new day, right, this new beginning, because this is transformative energy for you, Libra. But I think also this is a new day for others. Now, say you're in this supportive energy and you have the ability to help people around you. It's entirely possible that, you know, people aren't always going to be grateful, or people are always going to see that and perceive that in their own way. Like, oh, look at Libra showing off, or, oh, Libra just thinks they're so much better than everybody else. But that's not true. You don't have to worry about that. The universe sees your intentions. So if you have all this ability to be supportive and you're just like giving people money because you think that you're better than them, and like you don't really want to help people, but you want like a tax write-off, and then you go to this extremely large church where like everyone gives donations, and instead of giving donations to the homeless, they just give it back to the church, and like the church makes millions of dollars a year, and instead of like helping other people with that money, they just build their church bigger. Yeah, then the universe sees that. The universe sees that. But Libra, if you like recently came into even just a tiny bit of money, and you know, you like gave little bits to your family to be supportive and to be helpful, be like, hey, I know your dog just passed and you need like another $100 to get them cremated. I really want you to have that. I want your dog to be home with you. Here's that $100. The universe recognizes intentions. So even if somebody has a naysay about what it is that you're doing, this upside down judgment, don't focus on that. Don't give them the time. Just go after what matters to you. To clarify, this judgment card, it didn't even give me cards about judgment. It just gave me cards about you, which I think is like the big point here. So this is that masculine energy, Libra. Masculine energy is all about getting outside of ourselves and doing. If you're feeling supportive, this is that doing. This is that helping. This is that sharing. Sharing is caring. That's my number 2 rule in life. Number 1 is safety first, because that's why they say safety first. If it wasn't safety first, they wouldn't call it safety first. They call it safety third, but they don't. They say safety first. So first rule is safety. Second rule is sharing is caring. And we can share everything. We can share our time. We can share our space. We can share our respect. We can share our feelings. We can share our food. We can share everything. We don't have to, but we do have that ability. So when you have all this time to be supportive, or you're filling this supportive role, remember that you can share time, space, food, respect, feelings. It doesn't have to be just monetary stuff. But figuring out what it is you want to do with it and then going out and doing it, that's that masculine energy. I like this a lot, Libra. Okay, so we got for this Prudence. Let me see. For Prudence, we said be careful, be prudent about your support, this wealth that you have. Right, duality. Okay. So this Prudence, I think, I haven't seen it yet, but I keep getting this feeling of discernment. And duality kind of leads me to that, because you have to acknowledge the fact that things aren't always going to be good. You have good and you have bad, and that's just the universe, or that's just our world. I've never been to a different one, so I don't think that I have. Well, in dreams. But on our planet, we have to take the good with the bad. I have a card about that somewhere, that movement into balance card. I really like it because I can't find it, but anyway, movement into balance. We'll take the good with the bad. My movement into balance card, it has like a clear night, and it's got the moon and some stars, and then it shows rain. And like people always get upset about the rain. Oh no, it's raining. But like literally, how would we live without the water to nourish the plants? It makes the plants grow, and then the plants create oxygen, and then we live. Or the plants that grow, and then we eat them. Or the water that we also drink, you know? So it's like you can't take the good without the bad. And in this, the Prudence, I think that you have to look at the good and the bad. There's always going to be people in your life, Libra, that don't necessarily earn your support. It's up to you, though. My dad is the kindest person in the history of the world. I know he doesn't he's not Gandhi or anything like that. But my dad is the kind of person who will help people to his own detriment. We have had homeless people live in our garage because my dad doesn't like the idea of anybody suffering. The problem with that, though, is that they're homeless people. I'm not saying any shade to homeless people, but they are people who, don't have their own system of support. And when people don't have their own system of support, genuinely or generally what ends up happening is people will find that support in any kind of way that they can. Whether that includes stealing my dad's chainsaws and hawking them, who knows? So you have to be discerning, okay? Because people will take from you, Libra. And I think in this duality, you have to accept that. I don't know if you've ever seen Patch Adams. That's kind of what I'm talking about, though. You don't want to be that chick, So just be, aware. I don't think this is it kind of does seem like a warning. So be warned. The universe is telling you if you have this wealth, you have to be careful with it. Even if it's not material wealth, you should still be careful. Discerning. Retreat. I know y'all have seen those things on the news where somebody wins the lottery, right? $32.6 million. And you're just like, wow. And that person shows up in a mask or a paper bag to get their money because they don't want their family knowing about it. You could say that's super rude and you should always take care of family. But I know from personal experience that you don't always have to take care of family. I am not in relationships with many of my family members because of the way that I grew up. I have forgiven them. I have created emotional space so that I no longer have to dwell in those times and those places. But I've also made the decision that energy, that lack of support is not something that I need now. So I totally understand picking up my money in a mask. If you feel like there are people in your life that you should be careful of, Libra, this card, I would think, would be an indication to retreat from those people, to be more prudent with your time, your space, your energy, your feelings, okay? Let's do this. Ace of Pentacles. The universe said they wanted you to be a role model. We're all role models, Libra. Don't stress. Don't stress. No worries. I'm just ruining this today. Okay, this card here for the change, or the Pentacle, Ace of Pentacles, it says changes. I think that these changes that are coming for you are what the universe really wants you to know, how the universe really wants you to grow. And like I said, be an example of what the universe can give. If you weren't in this position before, this is new for you. This could be new for the people around you to see this change. A lot of the time when we decide to stop doing the same things we've always been doing, so if you came into this wealth and there are people around you and you've always been a sharer and you just inherit or just won $32.6 million and they come up to you and they're like, hey, Libra, where's my money? You could be like, sorry, I'm a new person now. Yeah, we don't do the same things we used to. And even if you didn't win new money and you're just trying to build, better self-love habits, you're gonna get pushback. When I decided to stop drinking, I lost all of my friends. People were like, you're not gonna be fun anymore. That's true. I'm not that much fun anymore. I'm not, yeah. I go to bed at 9:30 and I drink tea all the time. And I don't swear as much as I used to. There's tons of things I don't do anymore and I don't put other people down. But that's fine. When you lose people, Libra, that's the universe's way of saying, hey, they were dead weight. You're ascending and they are holding you down. Just be careful. This is the second card we've got about retreat, Libra. I think that somewhere you're going to have to take some space. It doesn't have to be I'm moving away with my $32.6 million. It could just be mom needs to go to the grocery store by herself. That's not enough. It needs to be more than that. Mom needs a night away by herself. We said about this hermit, you have to come out of this guarded, this logical, this less feeling sort of thing and change your perception. If you're feeling really supported right now, that's amazing. It's amazing. Really take a strong look at that. Who's being supportive? In what ways are they being supportive? Are they using your love language? That's always a big deal. I don't know if you know about love languages, but if you don't right now, you should look into them because in the same way that Source made us all individuals, we also experience things differently, and that comes in the form of love too. So it's a perception check. And letting go. Yeah. There's that duality again right here. That black and that white. Letting go. Maybe you feel like, Libra, you're not the kind of person to be prudent. Maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't put up boundaries. Maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't have walls to protect you. And while that's admirable, it means that you've managed to get through life probably really messed up. Like really fucked up, because like if you're not like providing, you know, protection for yourself, you're just exposed to everything. So while it's admirable, it's not well thought out. It's not well conceived. You have to let that go. People always see me as such a nice little bunny, and I'm so helpful and supportive, and I like being that way. Well, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Be a bunny, be supportive, be helpful, but be careful with yourself. If you believe that other people need support and help, why don't you need support and help, Libra? Who's there to support and help you? Yeah, okay. So we had that Queen of Wands, we had her in the reverse, and I warned you that this could be like really bitchy energy. The universe is saying that this energy is a burden. If you're feeling like people are messing with you, or people are messing with your boundaries, or people aren't respecting you, the proper response to that is to build better boundaries, not to be aggressive or mean. I know that we're really far on time, but I have established very healthy boundaries for myself, and I can operate within those boundaries exponentially well. Just great. The problem is that if you push me to my fence, I just start to get real ugly. And then if I have to crawl over that fence to defend myself, it's just gonna be so bad. It's gonna be so bad. I don't know if you know this about Pisces. Everyone says that we're just so sweet and loving, but no, we will throw hands. I'll throw everything. I'll throw the couch. So, like, because I know that about myself, I prefer to operate within my boundaries. If you push me outside of my boundaries, that's your fucking fault, and you're gonna deal with it. Libra, you need to establish good boundaries. If you are feeling like people are not respecting you, or whatever it is that you've got going on here, if something about that is making you feel angry or used, or your reaction to it is anger, then you need to push back. You need to pull back. Get back into those boundaries that you have. And then once you have those boundaries, once you're healthy and you're back in them, and somebody comes up to your fence and you say, look, last time I didn't really like the way the interaction went. It made me feel uncomfortable, and it made me feel like I had to operate outside of my boundaries. This is what I'm willing to put up with. Everything out here, that's your own business. Don't bring that to me. And then you smile. Because you can still be a bunny, and you can still have very solid boundaries. I knew it. I just couldn't find it earlier. Discernment, okay? It's just about being mindful of your energy, your space, your feelings, and then not allowing other people to trample on them. And we do this by telling people our boundaries. It's the same way when we deal with children, okay? I worked with the small kids for like a very long time. And that's where I got those 3 rules: safety first, sharing is caring, and respect. I put those ground rules down first. And then we talk about punishments. Okay, so what happens if we're not safety first? What if we're not doing that? Oh, well, then you have to sit down and you don't get to play the game. Well, there you go. They came up with a boundary. I came up with a boundary, and they came up with punishment and boundary. And then every day after that, for the 3 or 4 years that I've had them, we follow the same rules. And then there's no confusion about who I am and who you are and what our role together is. You can do that with people and grown-ups and people in your life. You can do that with your own children. You can do that with your own parents. I know it sounds wild to put up boundaries with your parents, but you can do it. All right, message from universe. Psychic developments. Excellent, excellent. This is you coming into contact more with your intuitiveness, intuition, all right? The more you listen to yourself about what you want, the easier it will be to listen to yourself in the future by what your intuition is telling you. The more you understand yourself, your feelings, your emotions, the more you're going to understand that each one of those things is like a little alarm or a little signpost or a little, like, just take, a check engine light, right? I'm feeling that clenching in my tummy and the tightness in my jaw. I know I'm getting anxious because I know I have to deal with this person. Okay, well, unless it's work, stop dealing with that person. People making you anxious, crazy. Grounding. This is going to come from you. You're going to have to make these choices because the long-lasting change, impactful change, real change only comes from the inside. And that's something you have to do for yourself. So if you come into this period of wealth and you're concerned because you have something and you don't want to lose that. You don't want to give it all away. That's okay. That's totally fair. You should share because sharing is caring, but be a role model for that instead of giving it away. Instead of saying, hey, look, the universe taught me a lesson and then it gave me a reward. I'm going to share my reward with all of you. You can say, I went through this and it was really, really hard, but I did my best and I got a reward. And that shows people that they can do it too. So there's no point in you giving away your reward when they can get their own. A bunny wouldn't just be like, I don't want to help my friends evolve. I want to help them. And the way we help other people evolve is by being that role model, by showing them, by being an example of how to do things, how to get ahead, how to succeed. It doesn't help them to take care of them or to do those things for them, right? Just to recap, Libra, really quickly, you are in this position of wealth. You have a lot of support around you right now, but the universe is saying don't listen to the judgers and don't give too much to the people who want what you have. Be a role model, but don't be bitchy, And there is an end to sorrow. Whatever you've been through, Libra, it's coming to an end, okay? I hope that helps. Have a good day.